Go out for a bike ride. It's not much farther than our neighborhood or around the block. That is not the case for Brian Charette.
Charette is a high endurance bike packer, which is just a fancy way to say it. He likes to pursue tough terrain on two wheels, and all that riding has prepared him for his biggest challenge yet.
Hey guys, Brian Charette here. I'm an ultra endurance bike packer. Riding the longest bikepacking routes ever created in the world has been a challenge that just absolutely stokes my soul.
Oh wow, there's Santa Barista right there. I've entered there. Oh god. Oh, this is a happy Brian right now. And that's the end of my climb. So I got like 2,000 feet.
Did you grow up riding bikes or?
You know, I kind of did. My mom occasionally would bring me to the Northern Maine State Fair, which there used to be a bike race there. I don't know if there still is or not. And I remember, I think it was like 24 miles. And I remember being like, I've never ridden that far. Oh my God. Am I going to be able to? Oh, gee. Well. And so I went to like probably one race a year from 13 to 16 or something like that. And I'd go to a race and be like, this is impossible. I cannot fathom going as fast as these guys go. And then some of the older guys would come and be like, keep that kid riding. You know, anytime you see a kid riding, you're just like, that's awesome. You're here. So anyways, the racing, I did a little bit more as I got older, but not racing so much as just loving to ride my bike.
Oh, look at this cool tree tunnel.
Over the years, Brian Charette's love for biking has only gotten more extreme.
Holy crap. Have I mentioned how beautiful it is out here today? Look at this.
And so has the terrain.
Sometimes you're like, if you're following an actual route, sometimes you're riding a perfectly awesome bike path, and then it wants you to take a right to go through this swamp, like just to get this extra flavor.
Where is it? It's deep. Okay, can I ride it? I should be riding it.
Since 2019, Brian has completed 3 of the longest bike trails in the U.S. He's clocked more than 15,000 miles on his bike and has seen most of the country on 2 wheels.
Since completing my first substantial bikepacking trip, the Idaho Hot Springs mountain bike loop in fall of 2020, I've been on a tear. I've successfully completed the Tour Divide in 21. In the winter of 22-23, I rode the Baja Divide and then rode it back to Phoenix area. That was almost 4,000 miles. And most recently, in this past fall of 23, I rode what was known at the time to be the longest bikepacking trip in the world, the Eastern Divide Trail. It was one of the most amazing things I've ever done. Super hard, super cool. When I did the Eastern Divide Trail, I rode through a bunch of family. I literally visited cousins that I hadn't seen in almost 40 years.
Oh,
and was just like,
Oh yeah, by the way, Brian says a lot.
You're so vulgar in the best way, and it's basically your brand at this point.
I collect videos of people giving me their best yeah.
Yeah, let's go. And
Yeah.
When I get a 75-year-old person, it's like they got permission to be a kid and they got permission to say that word. And they just are like,
Yeah.
woo.
yeah, yeah.
Nice. I explicitly love to talk about how, like, especially with kids, like, it's the perfect opportunity to share with your kids the huge difference between yeah and you, right? Like, huge. It's not even the same word. I've been feeling like a victim, crying over a broken system, wishing I could trade my cards in for a new hand.
Pretty soon, Brian will be leaving the wide open spaces of Arizona and heading to the western coast of Canada for his next adventure.
All right, I've been going a little bit crazy over making this decision, but I'm making a decision. I'm gonna do the Great Northern Bikepacking Route. It's the newest, latest, longest freaking bikepack route ever, linked up from British Columbia, Victoria, British Columbia, to Cape Spear, Newfoundland, where I started the Eastern Divide Trail. I'm 52 and I'm still pretty damn strong. I used to play a lot of basketball. I can't jump out of the gym anymore. Not at all. But I can ride my bike still. and I can do these big, long, super challenging things, but that ain't gonna last forever. So that really, like, knowing that I'm closer to the end than the beginning, it's really been driving me to just do all the things.
Clearly. All the things.
Yeah, no, he has a big appetite for life, and
He
one
really
has to
does.
admire that.
He really does. And so the Great Northern Bikepacking Route, almost 10,000 miles from start to finish. So he's hoping to leave early next month. However, he just found a crack in the frame of his bike. So he just shipped that off, I think, to Colorado to see if they can fix it in time for him. But he's like, I'm holding on to the positive vibes. I'm leaving in a few weeks, but fingers crossed that he can get that bike taken care of because it's custom made for him.
Yeah.
So, and it's really expensive to replace. So we'll see what happens.
Coming up next.